She said she was out of town visiting family. I noticed she had my AirTag in her purse. It pinged from a luxury hotel downtown. I booked the room next door. Ordered room service to both rooms. Hers arrived with a copy of our wedding invite. My name's Mike, 42, living in Chicago. Been married to Sarah for 15 years. We have 2 kids, a dog, and a mortgage. Life was predictable. Sarah started acting distant. Late nights at work, secretive texts, and a sudden interest in her appearance. I asked if everything was okay. She said she was just stressed. One day, she mentioned visiting her sister in Milwaukee for the weekend. Something didn't sit right. So, I slipped an AirTag into her purse. Friday evening, I watched the AirTag's location. It pinged from the Waldorf Astoria in downtown Chicago, not Milwaukee. I was furious. I called the hotel, booked the room next to hers, and packed a bag. I needed to see this for myself. I arrived at the hotel, checked in, and waited. Around 7 p.m., I saw Sarah enter the room next door with a man. They were laughing, holding hands. I ordered room service for both rooms. For hers, I included a copy of our wedding invitation. For mine, a bottle of whiskey. I listened through the wall as the waiter knocked. Room service for Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, he said. Silence. There's a note, he added. I imagined her reading the invitation, realizing the jig was up. Moments later, there was a knock on my door. It was Sarah, in tears. Mike, I can explain, she began. Save it, I said. Pack your things and leave. I filed for divorce the next day. The kids stayed with me. Sarah moved in with her new lover. It's been a year. The kids are adjusting. I'm seeing a therapist. Trust is hard, but I'm healing. Sometimes, I think about that night. The betrayal, the confrontation. But mostly, I think about the future. Life goes on. A week after Sarah moved out, I started getting anonymous texts. You think you know the whole story? At first, I ignored them. Figured it was her trying to mess with my head. But they kept coming. She wasn't alone in this. Check your bank statements from March. So I did. There were weird charges, small at first. A few hundred here, 1,000 there. All transferred to a name I didn't recognize, Eric Maddox. I Googled him. Nothing came up except a P.O. box in Naperville and a LinkedIn profile that hadn't been touched in years. The guy was a ghost. I asked Sarah, through gritted teeth and short texts, who he was. She said, don't go looking. You won't like what you find. So of course, I looked harder. Turns out Eric wasn't Sarah's new boyfriend. He was mine. Well, sort of. He used to be my friend. We worked together in construction back in the day. I helped him get a loan when he was starting his own home flipping business. And he repaid me by slowly bleeding my accounts and apparently, my wife. I hadn't seen him in almost 5 years. Last I heard, he moved out of state. But the transaction said otherwise. Then came the kicker, a charge for a VIP photography session in downtown Chicago. The location? The same hotel from that night. The receipt even listed the suite number. Not only did she cheat, they planned to document it. What kind of sick joke was this? Fueled by anger, I went back to the Waldorf Astoria. I didn't want revenge, I wanted answers. I told the manager I lost something in the room I stayed in last week and needed help recovering it. Slipped him 100. He gave me the room access code. I went in. Everything looked the same, clean, polished, luxurious. I searched every inch. Then I found it, hidden behind the flat-screen TV, a tiny camera. Still warm. And it wasn't mine. That night, I got another text. You're getting close. Meet me where it started. I replied, who are you? No answer. The next day, I drove to the job site where I met Eric 10 years ago. An old, half-finished condo tower on the south side. It was abandoned now, just rusted beams and broken windows. He was waiting there. Eric looked older, thinner, paler, but he smiled like nothing had changed. Mike, he said. Long time. I didn't say anything, just stared. Then he dropped it. She came to me, not the other way around. Said she wanted out. Said you were cold, always working, never there. I listened. I lunged at him. He didn't fight back. I didn't take your money, he said. She did. I just moved it. She said it was safer that way. I froze. Was this true? I confronted Sarah again. Her face went pale. You're really doing this? She asked. Digging up everything? Tell me the truth, I said. All of it. She sat down. Looked me straight in the eye. Fine, she said. You want it? Here's the truth. She confessed to moving the money. She confessed to using Eric as a buffer because she thought I'd never look into him. She said it wasn't about the affair. It was about control. You control everything, she said. The house, the bills, the life. I wanted something that was mine. You could have just asked, I said numb. You wouldn't have said yes. Weeks passed. I tried to move on, but then I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Just a flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop. It was security footage from the hotel lobby. Date stamped the night of the betrayal. There she was. Sarah. Laughing, flirting. But not with Eric. With a third man. One I'd never seen before. And then came the real gut punch. She handed him a folder. I paused the footage. Inside the folder was a photo of me. I watched that video on loop for hours. The guy in the footage was older. Maybe late 50s. Sharp suit. Balding. Not Eric. Not anyone from my life. So I ran his face through an online image search using one of those shady reverse lookup services. His name popped up. James Calder, a retired private investigator from Evanston. Used to specialize in domestic surveillance. Now supposedly off the grid. Why was Sarah handing him a folder with my face on it? I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I drove to Evanston and found his office. It looked abandoned, but I could tell someone had been there recently. Takeout containers. Fresh footprints in the dust. So I waited. Sat in my car all day. Around 6 p.m., he showed up. I followed him home. The next day, I knocked on his door. He opened slowly, looked at me, then sighed. You're the guy from the folder, he said. My heart dropped. I didn't hurt anyone, he added. She just wanted information. Said you were hiding things. I wasn't, I said. Well, you are now. Then he handed me a flash drive and shut the door. The flash drive had surveillance footage of me. From months ago. At work. At the gym. At the grocery store. Even one from my backyard. It also had a file titled Red Room. Inside were photos of a storage unit I didn't recognize. One rented in my name. A lease agreement. Security footage of me entering it. Except I hadn't. I never rented a storage unit. Never been to that part of town. I drove there immediately. The unit was empty. Except for one thing. A burner phone taped under a chair. Still charged. One message. You forgot something. I took the phone home, powered it up, and checked the call log. Only one number. So I called it. A voice answered. You were supposed to be in Mexico by now. I froze. Who is this? You don't know me. But your wife does. Click. I lost it. Drove straight to Sarah's condo. Pounded on the door. She opened it, annoyed, not surprised. I know about the PI, I said. In the storage unit. What are you doing? She didn't even blink. You're too clean, Mike, she said. Everyone has secrets. I just gave you some. What does that even mean? She leaned in, real calm. I needed to be the victim. So when everything falls apart, it won't be me they come after. And then she shut the door. That week, strange things started happening. I got a visit from two men in suits. Said they were from the IRS. Someone filed a complaint about unreported income on my construction business. They wanted to audit me. Then came a call from my bank. Someone tried to open a line of credit using my business name and my signature. I checked the storage unit lease again. The signature was mine, but not quite. A forgery, and a good one. Whoever this was, they were trying to destroy me, piece by piece. And the worst part? Sarah had planned every move. I didn't know who to trust. But then I remembered someone, Becca, Sarah's best friend from college. She always hated the way Sarah treated me. We hadn't talked in years. I reached out. To my surprise, she agreed to meet. We sat in a quiet bar on the edge of Lincoln Park. She looked tired, anxious. She told me things, Becca said. She's been planning this for years. Said she was going to clean you out and rewrite her life. But then it changed. What changed? She started seeing someone new. Not Eric. Not the PI. Someone worse. Who? Becca glanced around. His name's Rick Givens. He's connected. Real estate, politics, maybe mob stuff. And he's the one who set up the fake storage unit. He's helping her frame you. I needed a way to fight back. I remembered something, the hotel camera I found. What if I could use it? I took it to a tech guy I knew from high school. He pulled the files. Dozens of hours of footage. Most of it was Sarah and Rick. In one clip, one glorious clip, showed them discussing me. Talking about the fake unit. The plan. Laughing. I want him to lose everything, Sarah said. His business. His custody. And then I'll offer him a couch to crash on, just to twist the knife. Bingo. Now I had leverage. I met with a lawyer. Not mine. A criminal defense attorney with a reputation for handling complicated cases. I showed him the footage, the files, the texts, everything. He whistled. This is some dark chess, Mike. But if you want to win, you can't just play defense. You got to strike back. So we planned. Step 1. Send the video to Rick's business partners anonymously. Step 2. Leak the IRS audit information back to the IRS, but with Sarah's name on the fraudulent paperwork. Step 3. Report the burner phone and storage unit scam to the police, with everything wrapped in a neat file. All roads now pointed to them. It didn't take long. Rick's business partners turned on him fast. Once they got the footage of him talking about framing me, they cut ties, froze accounts, and filed civil suits. The man who thought he was untouchable was suddenly drowning in subpoenas. Sarah? The IRS flagged her name from the anonymous report and opened a full investigation. Turns out, she'd been moving more than just my money. She'd been funneling some of it into offshore accounts under her sister's name. She denied everything, until they showed her a copy of the footage. That smug, cruel video of her and Rick laughing about ruining me. It took 6 months for everything to go to court. Sarah was charged with fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. Rick? A bunch of financial crimes plus obstruction. I sat in the courtroom every day, watching them squirm. My lawyer told me I didn't have to be there. I said, I need to be. The trial was long, emotional, twisted. They tried to flip it, saying I was abusive, controlling, paranoid. But we had the tape. We had the money trail. We had her signature on the lease of the fake storage unit, and the real kicker, her fingerprints on the burner phone. But I wasn't innocent either. The judge brought it up during closing statements. You tracked your wife with an AirTag without her consent. That's illegal surveillance, Mr. Carter. I tried to explain that I was suspicious, that I was betrayed, that I didn't mean for things to go this far. Didn't matter. They fined me, put a note on my record, and said I could have handled things better. And they were right. I let my rage get ahead of me. I let revenge fuel every move. Sarah got 6 years in prison, reduced from 10 because she cooperated against Rick. Rick? 12 years, no parole. His money? Gone. Seized. His name? All over the news. As for me, I kept the kids. I kept the house. But I lost something too. I lost my ability to trust, to relax, to believe that love was ever real. A year later, I got one final letter. From Sarah. She wrote from prison. It said, "You ruined me. But I guess I ruined you first. Maybe we were both just trying to win something that was already broken." She ended it with, "If you ever feel lonely, remember, so do I." I didn't respond. Instead, I printed that letter out and burned it in my backyard. Some people think revenge ends when the enemy falls. It doesn't. Revenge is a fire. It eats what it touches, even the one who lights the match. But would I do it all again? Yes, because sometimes, when someone tries to burn your world down, you don't walk away. You bring gasoline, and you watch it burn.